All right, guys, happy Sunday. I'm about to save your league yet again. In this video, 5 big name, we're talking massive name, first round, second round draft capital type players that you need to stay away from. They are going to bust. If you don't believe me, I was the one that called last year. I've got an accountability booklet right here. CMC, do not draft last year, was a first overall pick. Told you to avoid. There's a ton of other players. I'm going to show you guys in this because people want to see, right? Sometimes with some people, seeing is believing. For me, I've been at this for so long, I could tell you who the busts are going to be. Again, I've got this year's accountability magazine. Emeka Egbuka is ranked 59th in here. He's one of my favorite sleepers. He's absolutely going to break out. It's ludicrous. So I'm looking through this magazine, and there was a lot of players that were drafted high that busted. I'll give you a quick example here right now, okay? I'm going to give you these 5 players, but I'm giving you some context here, okay? Look at this. Deebo Samuel was ranked. This is 2024, just to give you, and this was just across the board. This isn't just this. I'm not picking on this magazine, okay? 2024 magazine. Deebo Samuel right here, guys. Where is he? Ranked number 9. Can you see that? All right, this was Deebo and Ayuk. They're pretty much going back to back last year. Garrett Wilson, number 7 here. Brandon Ayuk here, okay? Number 12. Pittman, number 11. All players I told you to avoid. They weren't in my 16-round draft solution. If you haven't gone 16 rounds, that's why you got to experience it, right? Chris Olave, 16th. And on. I can sit here. It's ridiculous. And check where Ladd McConkey was last year. 41. Okay, Brian Thomas Jr. in this magazine was 59. Now you're saying, well, Joe, I don't buy magazines. What are you trying to get to here? This has nothing to do with the magazine. This has everything to do with what these rankings come out and everybody thinks, oh, they finished on top last year, we're going to draft them on top this year. Or they completely negate and forget about rookies. They're like, hey, we're not going to talk about that rookie because he hasn't broken out. He's very speculative, so we're not going to rank him. And they're going to put crappy players ahead of rookies that are in great positions to succeed. Does that make sense? Like I said, last year I knew Ladd McConkey was better than Deebo Samuel, and I was telling my 16 rounders, get him a round or two earlier in the solution so you guys secure the top ace wide receiver on the team. This year, I'm going to tell you to fade, Ladd McConkey. I'm going to tell you guys why. So let's go through this 5 big name players to avoid, but I had to give you some context that what I say is truth. Not all the time, not 100% right, but I'm giving you the red flags surrounding these players so that you guys can make executive decisions and draft properly, okay? If you're new to this channel, my name is Joseph Robert, the Fantasy Football Counselor, number 1 guy in the game, number 1 podcast, biggest influencer in the game, first vlogger on Instagram. I built a community based on authentic truth to sports, authentic truth to fantasy football, winning advice, and just being real. I mean, a lot of people just aren't real. Drop a comment and I'll reply back to you for the most part. A lot of these other pages, they just don't reply back, which is ludicrous. Get back to people. Be real. Be authentic. That's what I've built it on, being one of you guys, and I actually want you guys to win. I want you guys to hold the belt, get the prize, and actually win. And to do that, you need to follow the channel, turn on bell, smash thumbs up. Just hit the thumbs up, helps the channel, and grab that 16-round draft solution. I've linked it below. It'll put you light years ahead of the sheep. Sleepers, breakouts, optimal player, full mock drafts, printable cheat sheet, which I update till the season starts. Grab 60 rounds or head on over to thefantasyfootballcounselor.com. All right, it's a long intro, but it's not even an intro. It's context. It's part of the video. Some people say, let's go skip right to the names. No, you got to listen to this part because that's the part that separates the men from the boys. That's it. It's that simple. So make sure you guys grab 16 rounds and hit the thumbs up. Let's go to the first player that's going to bust. Big name bust here is Devin Achane. Off the chain, Achane. Let's see I'm just going to see where he was coming off last year. I think he was pretty high up last year. Achane wasn't a guy, that I don't think they were really down on. I think he was pretty up there. But I'm going to tell you guys why he's going to bust. I'm just pulling up last year where he was. Now, he was hurt his first year. So obviously, they had him 12 last year, okay? So anyway, they had him, where is he? 12. Okay, that doesn't matter, but the point I'm trying to make is this, okay? They're on top of him. He finished 5th last year in fantasy points, right? He has an undisclosed injury already. I was talking about him busting before this soft tissue undisclosed injury. This guy finished 5 last year, and they're telling you to draft him as a top 5 running back this year. What's so special about him? He had 6 receiving touchdowns. That's where he got inflated, okay? 6 rushing touchdowns, only 203 attempts. When I'm drafting my workhorse running back, if I'm investing in a first or second round pick, I want my guy to get 250 attempts minimum. I don't even like Gibbs' production last year. I want more out of Gibbs. He only had 250 attempts. I want more. I want Derrick Henry. I want Saquon Barkley. I want Kyron Williams type volume. I want 300 attempts. I want that workhorse running back. And we're in a league right now in a situation where they're trying to get rid of that situation, right? They're trying to get rid of that workhorse running back. Hence why the first couple rounds, you got to go robust RB when we're talking fantasy football draft strategy, is because they are trying to omit and get rid of the way of the workhorse running back. The Adrian Petersons of the day, they don't want that. The Derrick Henrys, they want to get rid of that. They want to run these committees. And I think a big part of that is these betting prop sites. They want to mess with that. They don't want you to have certainty when you're placing your bets. They want uncertainty. So that's where they kind of mess with you. So I would personally, for me, go robust running back, and that's what I recommend 16 rounds, because I know it's such a scarce position. So going back to Achane, he doesn't check all my boxes, right? Cuddy system, is he consistent? He had one good year last year, decent year, one bad year. So I'm not seeing any straight consistency, right? 11 games year one, last year finished, but do I really trust him? So is there upside? Sure, there's upside. He's an electric player. I'll give him that. Durability? No, because he missed the first year. He played 11 games, and now he's already kind of showing us and hinting like, oh, I already got a soft tissue injury. The season hasn't even started. He's a lightweight guy who he's just not built to last. This guy is not Derrick Henry, okay? And don't think that you're going to draft him thinking he's Derrick Henry, okay? I don't trust it. Undisclosed soft tissue issue. That's funny. Soft tissue issue, and they're not even sure. They're saying he's going to be possibly ready for week one. I'm not drafting a guy round one if there's uncertainty whether he's going to be ready for week one. They're saying he's going to be ready. I don't believe anything the coaches say. This could linger. What if it's a major hamstring issue and they're not telling us, right? Like that is garbage. Like I'm telling you right now, I was off this guy. I keep saying this guy's going to bust. He finished on top last year, 5. He's not going to finish 5 this year, simply based on, never mind getting hurt or him just not being an exceptional player as a running back. It's the fact that there's so many other good running backs who are going to slide in that are just better to get, okay? So Achane bust, believe me on this, do not draft. Number 2 here is Ladd McConkey. We were just talking about him. He was ranked 41st last year, give or take. Some ranking sites had him a little bit even lower. He wasn't even as high as 41. The magazine was doing him a favor. I was the only one telling you last year, don't be a donkey, draft Ladd McConkey, and he crushed it. 112, what do you have, 112 targets, something like that? Not bad, okay? He had, 7 touchdowns? I want to see more production. Unfortunately, you are not going to get that this year. You are not going to get the Ladd McConkey of last year. Did you see the catch from Trey Harris yesterday's preseason game? Did you see Keenan Allen is back? Do you see they have Omari and Hampton? Do you see it's a different offense? They got Lambert Smith, right? They got Quentin Johnson they want to implement, who got banged up. I think he's going to be okay, right? He had a concussion. So listen, they've got a lot of options. Last year, the only option they had was a Quentin Johnson who can't catch, still can't catch, by the way, and they had the donkey McConkey. Now you got to pay a second round pick. Listen to what I'm saying, man. Like, it's common sense, yet nobody's preaching this stuff. They're just saying, go ahead and draft McConkey. That's what they're telling you. This is a lie. He could have a decent season, but he is in a worse situation and he's way more expensive in draft capital than last year. It doesn't make logical sense to draft him. I would rather have an Emeka Egbuka. I can get that guy round 7. His ADP, don't be surprised if it goes up. I could get him round 7, and he's going to outperform Ladd McConkey. Why? Young, dynamic, better talent in a better situation with more volume. There you go. I just said, I give you 4 or 5 reasons just off the top of my head, and I can get that guy in the 7th round. You can get wide receiver. Now we're going on to more of a strategy here. You don't have to spend a second round pick on Ladd McConkey, not for the fact that he's just going to decline, he's in a worse situation, just for the fact that you don't need a wide receiver in the 2nd round. Okay? There's tons of wide receivers you get later, which I explain in the 16 round drafts, which you can grab it below. You will never look back at these garbage rankings. These rankings will not help you win, okay? So Ladd McConkey, fade him. Number 3, Puka Nacua. Same type of discussion here. You do not want to invest in a wide receiver early. They brought in Adams, who I keep saying has never taken a backseat to nobody. I think he's fallen off a little bit from his prime, but not enough where he's not going to want to demand volume and get that ball often. Okay, he's coming off round 3 is Adams, Puka Nacua round 1. Very expensive for a guy who was banged up last year in a situation where his quarterback is banged up and hurt. We don't even know if he's going to play week 1. Like, this is what I'm saying. There's so much uncertainty around this entire situation. And what you're gambling with is a first round pick. You know, that is huge, risky investment for a guy who was hurt last year, for a guy who could be the wide receiver 2, for a guy who gave up his jersey number and basically bowed down and submitted to Davante Adams, for a guy who's got major quarterback question marks. Like, dude, like, I don't trust it. Now you're saying, well, Joe, why do you like Kyren Williams? Kyren Williams is still primed for volume. Kyren Williams is still going to get the workload. They just paid him $23 million guaranteed. I think it was a $33 million, $23 million guarantee type thing. He's going to get work. There's no competition there. Blake Corum, if he would have done it, he would have done it last year, taking that job. He didn't. So going back to it, big name Puka, they'll tell you, Puka round 1. Let's see where he's going on. I got the new magazine for accountability. I'm going to tell you where Puka's ranked right now. And he's going to bust. And Emeka's ranked 59th right now. I'd rather have Emeka over Puka. And I think Emeka's actually going to outperform Puka Nacua. You heard that right here, right now. Okay? Again, people thought I was crazy for drafting Ladd McConkey, believing in Ladd McConkey last year. And people thought I was crazy. So in this magazine, Puka's number 4. Okay? Just to give you some, take a look right there. Remember this. Okay? This will not help you win. This is the reason I created 16 rounds, okay? You got to think outside the box. You got to think, like, I don't even think Dante Thornton's in here. He's one of my favorite sleepers you can grab late. I don't even think he's in here. I took a quick look. I didn't even see him. I didn't even see him under wide receiver here, right? Like, the thing's outdated upon print. And again, it's not just the magazines. Every other podcast is on board with this garbage, right? That's why I created the brand, because I want you to win. Authenticity, right? So Puka, avoid him. I'm not drafting, okay? Number 4 here, this is going to, again, the last 2 are crazy because you're like, wow, Joe, you're nuts. How could you? They're so talented. But number 4 is Saquon Barkley. Why? Really simple. Super Bowl hangover, Madden cover, pinnacle year, and law of averages. What goes up must come down. And also, for number 5, make sure you guys are making notes on this. Number 5 is that the team has already kind of said that they want to lighten his workload. He touched the ball like, I think, 400 times last year or something like that. Now, this is the only time I'm gonna use the magazine here. I didn't even pull up the stats, but I think it was like 400 times was his touches here. He had 345 carries, 13 touchdowns, 5.8 yards per carry, 33 receptions. So 33 receptions, yeah, man, you're like 400 times almost at least, in regards to touches. So bottom line is, like, what goes up must come down. I don't trust the situation. I like him. I like the talent. Could he do it again? If anyone's going to do it again, it's probably Barkley. But I'm moving on to the next one. There's so much younger talent. Omarion Hamptons of the world, Travion Henderson. I can get and balance out a robust RB squad where I don't need to implement a Saquon Barkley here. Does that make sense? Okay. And number 5, this one's going to shock the world. 5, Brock Bowers. Now, you've heard me talk about this a lot. Listen, I'm not denying Brock Bowers' talent. I'm not denying how good he is. What I'm looking at is, number 1, his round 2 ADP, which is extremely expensive. I'm going running back here, okay? Now, if you want to know which tight end to draft and who to back him up with in the 16-round drafts, which I've linked it below, okay? But you're looking at round 2 draft capital for a guy we were getting round 9 or 10 last year, whatever it may be. You got different quarterbacks. Now you're saying, well, Joe, it's an upgrade at quarterback, right? There's no Minshew or O'Connell or whoever was throwing the ball last year. Those guys are gone. We got Geno Smith now. Yes, and Geno Smith will target Brock Bowers, but they've actually got a true wide receiver 1 in Dante Thornton you can get for free at the end of the draft. They got Genti, who's going to pound the ball. They had no running game last year, and they had no wide receivers. Jacoby Myers is not a wide receiver. Well, hold on a second. What are you talking about? What do you mean he's not a wide receiver? He sucks. He sucks. Now, Joe, he's a wide receiver. He's pretty good. No, he's not good. He is not good. He is not an alpha. He was a beta. He was a pawn in the big game. That's it. Now you got to bring in an alpha like Dante Thornton or a Jack Beck who come in and step in. You got Genti. You got an entirely new situation. Brock Bowers ain't going to see that volume. Not with all of these targets around. They got Trey Tucker catching the ball in the slot. Like, they got other options. I'm not saying Trey Tucker is good, but I'm just saying, like, they're going to mix the ball around. and it's going to go to the wide receiver. They've got Dante Thornton. I like again, if Dante Thornton busts, which I really don't think he's going to bust, I get him with like near the end of the draft. I pay nothing and get the wide receiver one. And you're going to pay a second round pick for a guy who could potentially be the wide receiver 2-3. It's going to be Genty for checkdowns. It's going to be Thornton for wide receiver, and now it's going to be Bowers. And maybe even they're going to use Myers still, right? Like, it's just, the situation does not look good for Bowers. It just does not. Like, in regards to the same amount of volume he had last year. And it's round 2, forget about it, okay? So Brock Bowers, Saquon Barkley, Puka, Ladd, and Devin Achane won't be drafting. Could these guys all crush it again? Absolutely. You can come back to this video and laugh at me. Joe was right. But hey, injury counts. If Saquon goes down with injury, that counts. I factor that in. Joe, you can't predict injuries. No, but what goes up must come down. It's inevitable. And I keep going over this analogy. So if this is making sense to you, if you're like, whoa, hold on a second. My neurons are firing, my synapses are going, my brain, oh my God, he's got me thinking a little bit. Maybe this guy knows a thing or two about fantasy football. He's not just copying and pasting rankings. Oh, that makes sense. If you want a direct coaching call, I do that. I link it below. Patreon group, everywhere. Facebook, Discord, all here. Subscribe, turn on bells, follow on Instagram, follow my story mode, turn on the bell there for news, and grab that 16-round draft session. You will never, ever look back, okay? Have a great Sunday. Do not draft fantasy football busts. No, 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 no. There's better players to draft, which I lay out in 16 rounds. Grab it, subscribe, and have a great Sunday.